Hi everyone, my name is Carla. I'm an alcoholic, and I am very excited to introduce our surprise speaker tonight. She is a dear friend of mine, one of my closest confidants, and we've gone through many things together. She is wonderful, and to watch her grow from when she first came in the rooms to now is astonishing. So please help me welcome Bianca.
Hi, my name is Bianca. I'm an alcoholic. Oh, wow. I was just told 30 minutes ago, asked by my sponsor 30 minutes ago to tell my story. And at first I said, no. Why? No. Since the first time, my sobriety day is August 27, 2019, so I have about 3 years and 2 months sober by the grace of God in the program. I remember first time I came to speaker night, and I was thinking about myself. I'm like, there is no way I can do that. There is no way I can be in front of everybody and tell my story. I don't even know where my story began. That's what I used to tell myself. But now I think I have something to say. I was born and raised in Mexico. My mom and my dad, they got married very young. They were 16 and 15. When my mom was 18, she already had three of us. We're three girls. My dad, he is an alcoholic, I haven't seen him in about 10 years. He lives in Mexico. We still have contact, but I don't see him, so I cannot tell you how he is now. But the whole time that I was growing up, he was an alcoholic for sure. My grandfather, his dad, was an alcoholic. From my mom's side, my grandfather was an alcoholic. I was around alcoholics. But back then, I don't like I said, I don't know now in Mexico how it is. I've been here for 25 years. So over there, I remember that it was okay to drink. My grandpa, my dad, they got from work every afternoon, and my grandma had food, and they always had a Cuba Libre. That's what he drank every day. Every day was normal. The first time that I drank alcohol, I don't know how old I was, maybe 8, 9. My grandfather was drinking. He wasn't drunk, but he was like, hey, come here. And I was like, okay. So he like, try this. And I was like, I tried it. And he was like, and this is so whenever you get older and somebody gives you something to drink, you don't say, you don't know how it tastes. So this is alcohol. This is how it tastes. I was like, it tastes good. I liked it. I remember that saying I liked it. After that, my mom and my dad, like I said, they were very young. My mom didn't work. They were really poor. We were really poor when I was growing up. Later on, my dad, he has been always a hardworking man. My mom as well. They make money. We had an insurance company growing up and a records company too. We had money. There was a time that we lived well. We have nannies. We live well. But all the money, my dad used to drink it. He used to get his checks, and then he get paid Friday. By Monday, he will come. 3 days, my mom hadn't seen him, or my sisters and I. He will come home, and there was no money. So my mom will be asking people for money. I remember that. So I always saw my dad drunk. The bad thing about, it was bad that I saw my dad drunk, but he used to abuse my mom mentally and physically my whole childhood. That's the reason why, oh gosh, I wasn't ready for this. That's the reason why my mom and my dad separated many times while I was growing up. Sorry. Okay. So growing up, my mom and my dad, they used to get in a really bad fight, and we'll wake up in the morning and my mom wasn't there. She left. And that happened my whole childhood. Last time that they separated, my dad came here to the United States. The reason he came here is because he said, I cannot be around your mom because I still love her. I want to be with her, but she doesn't want anything to do with me. Anyways, so my dad came to live here. We lived with my mom in Mexico City. One afternoon, we were teenagers by that time. We were in my apartment. I remember it was my mom, my sisters, and we had family members that live in another building in Mexico City. So in the afternoons, my mom used to go and visit my aunt and everybody, and we would stay in our house. We had our little boyfriends, they were there. It was Christmas time. We were smoking cigarettes. My mom didn't know. My mom was somewhere over there. She didn't know. We were smoking cigarettes. We had a Christmas tree, a natural Christmas tree, and one of my cousins decided to be funny and put the cigarette on the Christmas tree. The whole apartment got in fire, like the whole thing. Everything got burned down. My whole house burned down. So my mom called my dad, and he said, okay, well, why you and the kids don't come here? The kids can go to school here for 2-3 years and learn English, and then y'all go back. So that's the reason why we came here, because and they tried to get together again. It didn't work out. My dad started drinking here. Same thing that happened over there. But I remembered also when I was a teenager in Mexico City, when there was no dad and it was just my mom. My mom used to go dancing every weekend with my aunts and everybody. And we used to go out too, my two sisters and other cousins and people that we knew from the city. I remember that back then it was all women can drink for free, whatever you wanted, no matter what. And I was underage. I was 17, 16. So we used to go to clubs in Mexico City and we would get drunk for free, basically. And you can order anything you wanted to. Well, I always was the one that finished, very drunk. I remember they used to turn on the lights so we can go. And I would go from table to table drinking whatever was left there. So from there, by then I didn't know I was an alcoholic yet. So those are some of the memories that, whenever I start thinking about it, I was like, oh, yeah, I guess I started a long time ago. So we came here. I didn't drink for a while. I went to high school. I finished high school here. I guess when my mom and my dad were together, there was more structure because my dad was more like, the dad. He was a good dad, but he wasn't a good husband. Weird concept, but that's how I see my dad. So when they were together, I wouldn't drink, or I would drink maybe once a month in a party or something like that. Well, they separated again here when we were here. And we started going out to clubs here in Houston. Same thing, we will drink for free. Either we find somebody, we met a boy, girls, and we drink. We drink all night. I remember I used to work in a restaurant as a manager. Get off from work at 11, and then go out with my sisters, come back around 6 in the morning, drunk still, and go back to work. And I did that for years and years. Still never thought I was an alcoholic because my dad did it. And my whole family, Hispanics, I'm not going to say Mexicans, sorry, no Hispanics, because I'm Mexican. Mexicans, we drink a lot, and it's normal. There is nobody's going to tell you you're drinking too much. It's normal, you drink. I remember one of the times when I was older, and I got in trouble. This is when I was already a mom. And everybody was mad at me. I got really drunk here after my divorce. I'll go back to that, but I remember that story right now. I got really drunk. My son was visiting my dad in Mexico, and it was just me and my daughter here. I got off work. I was working in another restaurant as a bartender. I got off work. I went to meet a friend. And I always told myself it's just going to be for 1 hour, just 1 or 2 drinks. That's it, 1 or 2 drinks. I get to the club. It's never 1 or 2 drinks. It's 5 or 6 or 7. But my daughter was at home. She was young. She was 7, 8. So I would tell my friends, oh, I have to go. And I went home. But then as soon as I got in the car, I went and bought a bottle somewhere in any gas station. I got home and I started drinking my bottle, and I would be like, well, if she goes to sleep right now, I can go back just for another hour. Why not? Well, I did that. I put her to sleep. By this time, it was like 1 in the morning. And I remember I woke her up and I told her I'll be right back. A friend of mine needs a ride from the bar. She's too drunk to drive. I was very drunk to do anything. So I went out. I didn't come back until 5, 6 in the morning. There was phone calls from my daughter from home, my son from Mexico. But by this time I was too far out. I was like, I was drinking every day by this time. So next day I woke up with a hangover, and my dad calls me from Mexico, and he's like, "Hey, what happened?" And I'm crying, I'm bawling my eyes out, and I'm sorry. And he's like, "No, just be more intelligent. Next time, just get a babysitter. Don't worry, you didn't do anything wrong." This was my dad, an alcoholic. That was him. So, anyways, I was drinking all my teenager years in 18, 19. Then I met this guy at a restaurant that I was working. He was a waiter, I was a manager. Anyways, we met, and I saw him, I liked him, and I said, he's going to be my boyfriend. So he was my boyfriend. But he drank a lot, too. He drank a lot. My first date with him, we were drinking in the restaurant before we left. We were going to go out, just 15 minutes, my God. We were going to go out to eat, but we were drinking before while we were closing the restaurant, and we got pulled over. We got out our job, going to another bar, another restaurant, and he got pulled over right there. It was our first date. They took him to jail. He was like, "Oh, can you please take my car to your house?" And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, why not?" So I went to my house with this guy's truck. I was drunk too. I hit a car when I got to because I didn't know how to drive trucks. I never drove a truck. So I hit somebody's car, and somebody goes in the middle of the night knocking. By this time I was living with my dad, and they were asking me asking my dad if I lived there. She was like, "Yeah, why?" "Well, this truck," and my dad was like, "My daughter doesn't have a truck. What are you talking about?" I was like, "Well, Dad, this guy that I told you about." So that was our first date. Well, I married this guy. Guess what? I married this guy, yeah. We were married for 18 years. We had 2 kids. My daughter, that today is, she's about to be 13. My son is 19. But the whole marriage was drinking, jail. He had a lot of consequences for his alcoholism. He went to prison, jail, rehabs. I remember taking him to AA meetings, and not because he wanted, but because he had to. There was a paper that somebody had to sign, so he went. And I remember 2 or 3 times that I went and sat down with him at meetings, but I never paid attention to it because I was not the alcoholic. By this time, I wasn't drinking every day. By this time, I was more focused on being a mom. So I had kids now. But this guy didn't want to stop, and he never stopped. It got so bad that there was a point later on, years after, that I was like, okay, well, if he doesn't want to stop, let me see why. What is this life? What am I missing again, I started drinking exactly like him. But I never thought I was an alcoholic because there was never consequences for me. Never went to jail, nothing. Never was a consequence. I kept my job. I was a good mom because I had my kids and everything was okay. I was the one getting him out from jail, all those things. So I never thought myself as an alcoholic because I didn't have any consequences. So we were married for 18 years. It was really bad the whole time. A lot of drama. There was drugs involved. It was really bad. I'm not going to go into details, but it was the whole 18 years, it was really bad. Then finally, when he started doing heavy drugs, I decided to just leave him. I was like, no, we're going to get divorced. Because by this time, we were fighting every night. I remember I got from work, he was already drunk. We would go outside to smoke at the patio, and we will fight because I will start drinking with him, and we will fight every night. And my kids will go out and say, "Mom, why y'all fighting?" Every single night it was like that. So, but still, I wasn't an alcoholic. He was the alcoholic. I was not. So I decided to get a divorce. I divorced him, and right after I divorced him, my alcoholism went to the top. I used to drink maybe 2-3 times a week. I didn't think that was bad, after work, go with friends and drink for a little bit. But nobody knew that I would go on my way home, I would buy again. First it was 1 bottle of wine, and then it got to the point that it was 3 bottles of wine every day after work, every day, after leaving the bar. So after I got divorced, like I said, my alcoholism got really, really bad. I was drinking every day, all day. I used to work in another restaurant. This was a breakfast restaurant, so I worked from 6 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. At 2, the restaurant was closed. So after work, we used to go and drink with the friends. After I finished drinking with the friends, six in the afternoon, I will go and buy 2, 3 bottles and go home and get drunk again. That was for like 3, 4 years. At that time, I did a lot of things that, and now that I think about it, I never thought still that I was an alcoholic. That was because there was no consequences. I guess that's why. I was still a good mom. He didn't have the kids. I had the kids. I didn't hit anybody like my dad used to, So I wasn't an alcoholic. But things got really bad. Like I said, I was drinking every day, every day. I blacked out every night for like 3 years. I remember telling my kids around 9, I will be like, if you have something important to tell me right now. Because I'm going to take my medicine and I'm going to go to sleep and I'm not going to be able to wake up. I don't know why I thought that was okay with a 7, 8-year-old girl and a 14-year-old boy. After they lose their dad for alcoholism, I was doing the same. But still, I never thought I was an alcoholic. So that went on for 3, 4 years. The last year, when it got really bad, I was really depressed. I was looking because my alcoholism makes me isolate. And I heard that from a lot of people here. I used to drink to be the life of the party, and I was. That's why everybody used to ask me, where are we going today, Bianca? What are we doing today? Every time that somebody wanted to do something fun, Bianca, where are we going, Bianca? What do you want to drink on this Christmas, Bianca? Everything was Bianca. But that wasn't me for real, because if I didn't have alcohol, I wouldn't be able to talk to you. I wouldn't be able to go to a bar, to a park. I wouldn't be able to do anything if I wasn't drunk. I was the classic of before going drinking, I will drink, a bottle before I go out to drink, to have that courage and to be able to do it right. Like I said, at the end of my alcoholism, I was doing things that wasn't right at all. The last one that I remember before I came here, I told a friend of mine that I was going to work. By this time, I was drinking from the morning to if I didn't work during the week, I will drop off my kids to school at 7 in the morning. I had already my bottle I always will buy 3 bottles or 4 in case I drink these 3 bottles, and in the morning I will have 1 to open up first thing in the morning. I will go drop off my kids to school and start drinking from 7 to 2 in the afternoon, 3, take a nap. So whenever I had to go pick up the kids, I was sober. I wasn't sober. I drove so many times, going to school and taking the kids drunk. And now that I'm sober, I cannot believe I did that. Some people's kids too, my nephews, my family, people, I will drive drunk. I always had my little thing, my little cup. Not little, it was like this big. Full with cheap champagne. That was my drink, champagne. I don't know why. And I'll always have it there. We'll go to games for my son. He used to play football. I will always have my little thing. And then I will have a bottle in the back. I remember many times I left the games because I didn't have any more to drink. So I would go to the gas station next door, get me my bottle, and continue watching the game. By this time, I felt that I was bloated, like super bloated. I don't know, I never asked the doctor, but something right here always hurt, like really, really bad. Every single day it hurt really bad. One other thing that I remember that I did very wrong is picking up my kids after work. After a night of drinking, I will go to work. I was still drunk. And I remember having to let things out, and I will be in the light, in the street light, and I will open the door and I will throw up. And my dad will be like, "Are you okay, mommy?" And my son will be like, yeah, she's just not feeling well. I was drunk. And as soon as I threw up, I was stopped to the next gas station, got another bottle to continue on. There was no stop. So anyways, after all that, many situations like that I had, but still didn't think I was an alcoholic. I was just thinking I was depressed. For me, my husband, my dad, my mom, there was a reason for my sadness, and I had to do something to quiet my brain and my heart. I was very sad, very depressed, like I said. And when I drank, I just didn't feel anything, or I felt happy. That's all what I wanted. I didn't wanna be at the moment because the moment was very painful. And that happened since I was a little kid. Growing up with my mom and my dad fighting and doing things that no kid should have seen or heard. I just wanted to quiet my mind, and that's the only thing that I knew how to do it. Taking drugs or drinking. It was more drinking than taking drugs. One day I was at work, but this time I don't guess. People were noticing already. So I remember there was a lady in the kitchen, Maria. She was the prep. And she was really cool. She always liked to hear our crazy stories about us going out the night before. But I will come back to work and I will be still drunk. Everybody will be okay, but I will still be drunk. And Maria was like, Bianca, you have 2 kids. You have to stop. This is not fun anymore. And I'll be like, come on, Maria, come on. La, la, la. Remember one day I came to work and she made a jar with my name. And she put, please let's take Bianca to AA. Who wants to cooperate? Yes, she got a jar for me. So I can go to AA, to treatment. I thought it was funny. I laughed. Everybody laughed. So this lady, was the only one that will be like, oh, come on, Bianca, you're going to lose everything. And come on, your kids need you. And I'll be like, my kids are okay. They're at home. I have a job. Everything is fine. But it wasn't. It wasn't fine. Like I said, by this time I was drinking every day. I was bloated. You can see it on my face. I was sweating. It was really bad. I was depressed. I was crying every day at work. One of my friends from work, she had a customer that used to go and sit down and read a book. And we didn't know what book it was. She would just go and have lunch and read a book. And my friend, that used to be her waitress, asked her, where are you going after? I don't know how it came out, but she asked her, where are you going after here? And she's like, I'm going to a meeting. And this lady was like, and my friend was like, what kind of meeting? And she was like, well, AA. She was like, AA, for real? She was like, I have a friend, maybe, hold on. And she went looking for me to the kitchen. She's like, Bianca, I have do you know Miss Kelly? Miss Kelly, she goes to AA. And I'm like, and? So what? Good for her, right? What? She's like, well, just go talk to her. Sit down and just ask her, tell her, what's been going on with you. I'm like, really? I have to do this? Okay. So I went and I said, hi, Miss Kelly. I have seen her before, but we never talked. So I was like, I heard you going to an AA meeting. And she was like, yeah, I am. Why? I was like, well, I think I'm drinking too much. They're saying that I'm drinking too much, so they're sending me with you. So she was like, sit down for a minute. So I sat with her. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't remember how the conversation went. My brain is just right now getting clear, and I can see it now, and I can, recognize it. I don't remember how the conversation went. I just remember that she said, if you want to come, let's go. I was like, well, no, I'm at work. Well, she told me, these are the times you can go, this day. I was like, okay, why not, Finally, I guess I was in enough pain one afternoon, and I knew that, I forgot about something. Hold on. My mom, by this time when everybody knew, because I would show up every time to any party with my bottles of wine. No matter, there was no party going on, and I would show up with my bottles of wine. They were like, we drink, because that's what we do. So when I went to my divorce, I was really depressed. I was drinking. My mom never knew exactly how much I was drinking, but I'm sure she was able to see it, and people were able to see it. Even I try not to see my mom and my sisters forever. I remember driving on the street and I will see my mom and I will be like, fuck my mom. And I will go to the other, because I didn't want her me to see drunk. I didn't want her to do that. She doesn't drink. She doesn't drink. My mom doesn't drink. She hates alcohol, and now I understand why, because my dad was an alcoholic. My mom never drank, but she got traumatized by an alcoholic. So she used to get really mad every time that me and my sisters drink. But like I said, it was normal in Mexican families. So my mom would be like, oh, y'all gonna drink again? And we were like, yeah, we're gonna drink again. So, but she didn't like it. So I remember one time before I met Miss Kelly, no, it was not before. It was around that time, the same time, sorry. My mom was like, well, guess what? I saw this lady on Facebook. She's coming to Houston. She's coming from Miami, I think it was. And she helps you to get in your psychic, and she can help you to do this, how do they call it? Regression? That you go back and they're supposed to help you to find why you do things and to take out everything from your childhood. So she was like, please just let me take you. Maybe she will help you to. So they say that people say that they stopped drinking after they saw it. I was like, okay, whatever, let's go. So I went. I remember I think we met like 4 or 5 times. My poor mom paid like $1,500 for this. And I remember every time that we finished, she will be like, how do you feel? Do you feel like drinking? And I'll be like, I don't know. So I would leave thinking I shouldn't be feeling like drinking. But I was feeling like drinking. I went and I got a bottle, So that was my first try to stop drinking right there, but that didn't work. By this time, that's when I met Miss Kelly. I went to a meeting. Oh, Miss Kelly, sorry. Then she called me one day. She told me, call me whenever you're ready. So I called her. And actually, my first meeting was right here in West Spring. She told me to meet her over there. I met her over there. I went in. And they asked me, like I said, my brain is, I don't remember details of everything. But I remember I went in, and I'm sure I had a newcomer meeting. I was drinking still while I was going to meetings, to be honest with you. I don't know if I have told my sponsor, Lisa. I don't know if I tell people a lot of this, but I actually had 3 sobriety days. One was in May, then was June, and then the one that I have. The first one in May, that's when I went over there to West Springs. And I knew that I wanted to stop drinking. I didn't want to stop drinking. I just didn't want to feel the way that I was feeling, to be honest with you. I never saw myself. I was like, how people don't drink, what they do, how do you have fun? How do you do life? Because my dad will drink every day. Everybody drink in my house every day. It's normal. So I went to the meeting. And they gave me a book. I had my meeting, and I think I went 2 or 3 more times to that place. But then I started drinking again. When I decided to go to the meeting to stop drinking, like this, because I wasn't ready yet, I remember I took my kids to eat dinner. And I was like, okay, kids, I have to tell you something. Mommy has a problem drinking. Like they didn't know. Mommy has a problem drinking, and Mommy's gonna stop. But please don't tell anybody. This is just between me, you, and that's it. Do not mention it. Don't talk about it. I'm gonna do it. I didn't do it. And by this time, I was going back home and hiding the bottles. But they knew I was drinking. It took me like I said, another 2 months. And then I Googled, I think the same lady told me to come here because it was closer to my house. So I remember I came here. I came with my sister after the night that I left my daughter at home. That was my last, that was it. I was like, this is not me. This is not Bianca. I will not do this to my kids or myself. I was doing things, being with people that I shouldn't, doing a lot of things that I shouldn't have. So I came here. I sat all the way in the back. I remember my seat was all the way in the back. I was still sweating the alcohol, and first person that talked to me was Miss Patsy. Yeah, right? It's good. Miss Patsy, I remember I had my little pad and my book, and I was listening to the meeting. When I came here, I didn't tell y'all that I was it wasn't my first meeting, but because I went out, but I didn't say anything. I just came to the meeting. And Miss Patsy asked me, "How you doing?" And I was like, "I'm okay." She's like, "I never seen you here," so I told her it was my first time here. "Oh, okay. Well, welcome." So while I was listening to the meeting, I was crying the whole time. I didn't share anything, but I was crying the whole time. I heard my story in everybody. I remember seeing all these beautiful ladies and be like, they look so pretty. There is no way they're alcoholics. How? They look so good. That's what I used to think. So I would be just crying and crying. And I remember Miss Patsy took my pen and my pad and she wrote something on me. She said, "God loves you and you will never do this alone." And I still have that pad with that message right there. After the meeting, she hugged me and she asked me how long I was sober. I told her the truth, that I've been trying, but I wasn't doing it the right way, that I've been drinking. So she just told me, "It's okay, just keep coming back. Just keep coming back. We'll be here for you. We'll be here for you." I kept coming back. I remember seeing those steps, and I remember seeing 1, 2, and 3, and I was like, I already did those. Of course I'm here because I'm powered over alcohol. And I came to look at power grade on myself, restore me to sanity. Well, yeah, what else? That's what I was telling myself. And then made a decision to turn my will in life. I was like, well, yeah. And that one right there scared me because I was like, what do they believe on? They don't believe in God? What else they believe on? Oh my God, this is a set. That's what I thought. So I thought that by the time that I had a sponsor, I'll be like, I'm already in step 4. If you don't have to worry about 1, 2, 3, Those are obvious, Duh. I already did those long time ago. No, they still wanted me to do it. I had to do it. So I think it was Miss Patsy that she introduced me to other women, and she was like, "Do you have any sponsor?" And I was like, "No." And she just pushed me to somebody. I remember she pushed me to somebody, and that person helped me. She helped me a lot, whatever she was able to. She was going through a lot of stuff too. Now that I have a little bit of sobriety, I know and I understand. But she helped me to read the book. At first, I couldn't understand anything that the book said. You will read it to me, and my brain will be somewhere else. I wouldn't understand. I couldn't understand. But still, I met her at her house, and she read and read and read and read. Until then I had another sponsor, this lady. She is amazing. I really love her. She got me the first time to hold the whole street, this whole 12 steps. I remember we were in a cafe, and she got me we were drinking coffee and we were doing step 3, I remember. And she was like, "Well, you ready to pray?" And I was like, "Yeah, I pray every day." And she was like, "Okay, let's get on our knees right here in front of everybody." And I was like, "Okay." So I went and I got on my knees and I said the prayer. And I did feel something. I felt something. I know a lot of people said that, no, they didn't. So I did feel something. I was ready. I didn't want to live the way that I was living. It was too much. I was fighting against everything and everybody. I was a victim my whole life, from my parents, then my ex-husband. But I never saw that I was the one picking those patterns. It was me choosing that life over and over, no matter what I did. Why? Because I didn't have any other way to deal with life. That's all what I knew. But by doing the steps, little by little, doing a step, what was it? The step 4. I was very, very mad about it at first, because I never thought that it was my fault, anything. I was like, how can any of this be my fault? My parents? My ex-husband? Why? Why do I have to make amends? Why? One of the first amends that I did was to my ex-husband. Right now, he is in jail for drinking and driving. This is his 4th or 5th DWI. He went to jail 2 years ago, I think, a year and a half, 2 years ago. He's about to get out. But he doesn't get it. And that's not, right now I understand, thanks to a lot of good sponsorship, that's not of my business. That's none of my business, because I remember when I got sober, I wanted him to get it. I was like, look, I'm not drinking. You can do it too. It's nice. It's good. He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. And now I accept it. But I remember I was doing my inventory, and they told me there is a part that you have on with your ex-husband. I was like, no, he's the one that cheated. He drank. I was a good wife, a good mom. I was at home. What is my part in all this? I prayed about it, and I just started writing. And I was like, you know what? Yes, I do have a part. So by this time, he was still drinking a lot. I remember I called him and I was like, hey, I want to talk to you. Can we sit down and talk? And by this time, we were still fighting about the kids, the divorce, all that stuff. So he was like, okay, let's meet. So we met. And I was like, I have to make amends to you. And he was like, what? Why? I was like, because it's part of my program and I have to make amends to you. Okay. He's like, Bianca, you didn't do anything to me. It's all me. I'm like, no, I have to do this. Please listen. So he sat down and I started talking to him, and I was like, my part on all this is that I didn't let you go before. Maybe if I was to let you go the first time that you went to jail while we were married, maybe life will have be more difficult for you, and maybe you will have learned your lesson. But I kept you here, and I was trying to save you, and I was trying to be your God, and I'm not your God. So that's my part right there, that I didn't let you go, and I wanted to hold you here and to make you better, but I had no power over it. That's my part. And he was like, he cried, I remember. He's like, wow, Bianca, he's like, you didn't have to do any of this. I was like, yes, I do, because it's for me more than anything. Because I need this for me, for my soul. I need to let go of all the ideas and all the resentments and all the stuff that makes me drink. And this is one of the big ones that makes me drink. All the stuff that I think you did to me and I didn't have any part on it. So that was one of my first amends, and that felt really good. I remember hearing people saying that after you make those amends, you feel like, and yes, you do. Yes, you do. Whoever is new here, I'm telling you, it's life-changing. It's life-changing, especially when you have believed your whole 18 years of being with this person that you have no part on it. When you see your part and you let go of that, that's where healing starts, I think. That's where it started for me. What else? I did the steps. I have learned so much doing the steps. I have done the steps 3 times. And every time that I do the steps, I get something new for sure. I learn something new. God always has something new to show me. I remember thinking, why do they come every day? Why? What's the point? You already did the steps. What else? Well, now I see what else. The 6:30 meeting, that was my first meeting. I came for the first year and a half, I think, to the 6:30 meeting. If you haven't been to a 6:30 meeting, please come. It's life-changing. I'm not kidding you. It's life-changing. There's some kind of vibe. I don't know how to explain it. I can feel God at the 6:30 meeting for sure. I came to the 6:30 meeting for a year and a half. I did the 90 meetings, 90 days. By this time, the terrible Corona happened, so I was able to be here 3-4 times a day sometimes. I don't remember if it was during walk, but I remember by that time I wasn't working, so I was able to be here. When I was 3 months sober, my daughter tried to commit suicide. My daughter was 9 years old by that time. I remember leaving the meeting. I was leaving a meeting, a 7 p.m. meeting, and I got a phone call from a police saying, are you the mom of Lizette Lawrence? I was like, yeah. She's supposed to be, okay, I left, and she was with a little friend. The mom of the little friend supposed to pick him up. She didn't get there, I guess. And Lizzie had time to go and take some pills. Thank God it was just Tylenol. It was like 10 of them. But she told the police that she was trying to kill herself. That was the first time, unfortunately. She's been dealing with depression right now and anxiety right now. She's in a place. That's another talk. I can talk about that for hours. But I remember from that first time, people started texting me in the middle of the night, women from the group, texting me, whatever you need, I'm here. I don't know you, but please text me. Miss Beaky, I remember she messaged me on Facebook. She's like, I don't know why, but God is telling me to message you. Are you okay? And I cried. I was like, no, I'm not. And this lady, she didn't know me. I didn't know her. I told her what was going on, and she was my support. All the women from the meetings were my support through all that. I remember they told me when I came here the first time, we're going to love you until you learn how to love yourself. And they do. Y'all do. And I appreciate y'all. Because I didn't know how to love myself. I didn't know what it was that. I have always get that from somebody else. Expected from somebody else. My kids, my siblings, my people that I love around. And I didn't know how to love myself. And little by little, I'm learning. And I am very, very grateful for that. Y'all gave me Bianca. No Bianca back because I don't know who Bianca was. You're giving me Bianca. And I'm learning a lot. God, I'm learning a lot. What I'm learning mostly right now is that it takes pain for me to do the deal. To do the deal the right way. Y'all say half measures avails nothing. That's true. I have tried to do it half measures. And it doesn't work, guys. It doesn't work. But unfortunately for this alcoholic, I have to be in a lot of pain to reach out to my sponsor. To do the right thing. But with 3 years, I can tell you that, like I said, my daughter right now is back at a mental hospital. That has been one of the worst experiences. She tried to commit suicide again a month ago. This time was with different pills, really bad ones. But if it wasn't for the program, if I wasn't sober, she would be dead for sure. I'm sure. And I'm no God, I don't know, but she will be dead. I have cried so much with most of the ladies here. And now I know how to pick up the phone and say, I'm hurting. I need you. I need somebody right now. Just last time that we were at the hospital, I remember I said that serenity prayer, like, she was 3 days in the emergency room. And I had to be strong for her. I couldn't cry in front of her. So I remember going in and out of the room. She was like in the 3rd floor, I think. And that serenity prayer, my God, I said it 1,000 times, walking in and out. I got the phone also, and I found a meeting, an online meeting, because that's what y'all told me to do, and I did it. I called people, and they answered. Thank you. Sorry. This program really saves lives. I don't want to drink. Right now, my heart is broken. My daughter is not home. And y'all help me to understand that even it's not what I want. It's not how I want it. This is the way that it needs to be. Why? I don't know. But I'm doing what I can. What I can is come here to be sober for my daughter, to be there for her. That's all what I can do, and that's more than enough. She told me, she's like, Mom, thank you for not drinking. Please don't drink. And I said, no, I'm not going to drink, baby. And I'm not gonna drink. For me to be able to not drink, I have to be here with y'all. And that's why I say yes tonight. That's why I say yes tonight, because I don't want to drink. My kids deserve a mom. I always dreamed that my kids were gonna have a mom and a dad in the household that I didn't have. Oh, they don't have it either, but they have me. They have me, and I'm gonna be there for them. Sorry. But it's not all crying, I promise you. It gets fun here too. We laugh a lot. Right, Ron? I guess I don't know what else to say. I'm just very grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful, guys. Now I understand people that said I'm a grateful alcoholic. I am a grateful alcoholic. I am so grateful that I found y'all, because this is where I found God. This is where God found me. I've been looking for God forever. I've been asking Him, and this is where I find Him every day. And I hope somebody heard something. If you're newer, just stay. Stay. Don't let that nothing let you go. Stay right here. We love you. And we are a family. Okay? And we're always going to be with each other no matter what. Thank you.
We'll pass the tissues in a minute. Let's give it. Hey, Bianca, thank you so much for literally stepping in with 20 minutes. It was actually like 20 minutes before it started. So let's give her another round of applause. If you would have seen the look on her face when I first asked her, she was like, "No, I will not do that." Thank you so much for sharing your story. I'm very inspired by it. Here at the Cypresswood Group, we are on a chip system recognizing periods of continual sobriety. Is there anyone who needs a chip today? A desire chip? An outward token of an inward desire to stay sober? Any months? Oh, all right, anybody celebrating monthly increment tonight? Any October birthdays gonna celebrate this coming Friday? Yay! All right, everyone, let's close the meeting.